More walk-offs, another blowout of the Mariners, and the Tigers take a step back, and Fernando Tatis Jr. is back. We'll be getting into all of it and more on MLB Game Night.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Hello, everybody. I'm Javier Reyes, and welcome to Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the business. I'm your host, Javier Reyes, obviously, and also the host of Locked On Padres, alongside my partner, Ben Kaspic, formerly of Locked On Giants, currently of Giants fandom. Sir, how are you doing on a Sunday evening in which we got a whole lot of good baseball to talk about?
Man, I enjoyed a lot of these games. The Giants, you had to mention that one, didn't you? I didn't enjoy that one, but a lot of fun games to get into. Really excited.
Absolutely. And the first one we're going to be talking about is a walk-off, folks, because you got to start off with the game winners. That's what it's all about. Cardinals at the Phillies. Cardinals 66-66 on the season, going against Philly 73-58. The Phillies win this one by a score of 6-4, and it is done in walk-off fashion. And our guy, Connor Thomas of Locked On Phillies, is here to give us the recap, because when things are going well in Philadelphia, you want to hear from Philly fans themselves.
This one was crazy.
The Philadelphia Phillies make it 9 straight, the most dramatic way possible. This team is unbelievable. My hat's dripping right now because I had to dive in the pool. I'm back home in Jersey, so doing this from the guest bedroom. But this game, man, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter how you saw it. Down 4-0 with 2 outs in the ninth, and this team just does not quit. Edmundo Sosa comes up big. Brian De La Cruz comes up big. Kyle Schwarber, the first walk-off homer for the Phillies since he did it back in 2023. It's about time they got another one of those. It doesn't matter that Christopher Sanchez didn't have his best day. It doesn't matter that the offense was quiet for 8 innings, or I guess 26 outs. Game's 27 outs, and this team just is not giving up right now. I was ready to talk about them. 8 out of 9 ain't bad. Yeah, that was the thought I had. But guess what? 9 out of 9 is a lot better. This was a win that shows you just how special this team can be when they don't give up. They put together good approaches. I'm buzzing right now. Clear your schedule for October, because Red October's coming back, and this team has a chance. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
Wow, kind of really high on them this time, and he absolutely should. They sweep the Cardinals in this one. The Phillies, if you were wondering, they were a negative run differential team for a while, and yeah, they made some additions to the deadline, and they had a rough stretch, but they are right back at it. Big home run, obviously from Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Harper 2 for 3, and Edmundo Sosa goes 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs as well. Look, shout out to the Cardinals and JJ Weatherholt being quietly one of the best defenders in baseball. But other than that, man, I mean, the Phillies, they have been a team for a long time. A consistent fixture in the playoff race. So if anyone was wondering if they were going to fall out, I feel like this series was kind of proof that they probably won't.
Yeah, and that place is just electric when things are going well, and that was just unbelievable. I mean, it was 4-0 with 2 outs in the ninth inning, and they come all, they get a 3-run double, they get a game-tying single, and then Schwarber hits one over the batter's eye in center field to walk it off. You and I, the two teams that Luis Ariz had previously played for was the Giants. So I watched him. The Padres, you watched him, and the Phillies. He showed up there, made an immediate impact. Think that was a really good fit. They've got the pitching to not only make the playoffs but to make a run. That is not a team that I would want to see in October. They had their struggles early on, but they've really turned things around.
Absolutely. Another team I wouldn't want to see in October is the one that, frankly, no one wants to see in general if you read the message boards these days. That is the Dodgers, who took on the Pirates today. They get a sweep of them. They win this last one, though, 4-0. And speaking of pitching the Phillies, well, Dodgers aren't that far off either. Blake Snell gets a start in this one, going 6 innings, only allowing 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Lake Bachar, I hopefully said that right, for the Pirates. He goes 2 innings, gives up a run. It's kind of a bullpen game for them. Brandon Lowe, 1 for 3 with a walk. Spencer Horowitz, 1 for 3 with a walk. But otherwise, Dodgers took control of this one. They took control of the whole series. Freddie Freeman, 2 for 4. Kyle Tucker, a rare, not bad day for our guy Kyle Tucker over there. 1 for 3 with a walk. Sac fly from Max Muncy. big series against the Braves next for the Dodgers. They were looking bad for a little bit. Everybody was complaining, oh no, it's post deadline, they're losing. No, the Dodgers are going to be fine. As all teams, they go through their rough stretches. We'll see what happens in October, but obviously they are going to be a fixture, and the Pirates will be facing my Padres next. Then we also have the White Sox and the Mets. Now, the White Sox, unlike the Dodgers, are actually a surprising contender this year. They win this game 2-1 and take 2 of 3 of the series. And our guy, Todd Welter, the host of Locked On White Sox podcast, he's got to be feeling good for a team that, again, was being made fun of for the past few years, and now they have a lot going for them and are a division leader at this point in time.
Yes, they are, and let's hear from Todd.
The White Sox make walk-off victories look routine, especially with Tristan Peters at the plate with the game on the line. The White Sox beat the Mets 2-1. It was Peters who called game with a solo blast to deep right center. It was the 11th walk-off victory for the White Sox, the second in this series, and the 5th ending on a home run. Peters has accounted for 3 of those 11 celebration moments. However, he was put in that position after Grant Taylor blew a save opportunity by allowing the Mets to score the tying run in the 9th. Sean Newcomb, Eric Fetty, Hagen Smith, they deserved a shutout victory after they pitched well enough to keep the Amazons off the scoreboard through the first 8 innings. One mitigant to Taylor blowing the save was he should have had more room to work with in the 9th, as going through another scoreless drought made things uncomfortable for the Palhos against the Mets throughout the entire game. Andrew Benintendi snapped a 10 1/3 inning scoreless streak by hitting an RBI triple in the 8th. He did not score, though, as the White Sox lineup, they had issues hitting with runners in scoring position throughout the entire series. Chicago went 2 for 20 in scoring opportunities. At this point in the season, though, you take a win however you can get it, as the White Sox winning still maintains their lead in the AL Central Division. And I'll have more on tomorrow's episode of Locked On White Sox.
Look, White Sox have been such a fun team this year with Murakami, with some of their prospects, and they're very underrated pitching staff. So, Ben, this is a team that I don't think it kind of matters if they're like a true World Series contender. The fact that they're winning the division and look like they have they're a front runner to be in the playoffs, I think that's just the rest I think is gravy for them. So to a degree, I don't even care if I'm a White Sox fan. You went through a lot of crap these past few years, and now you are just finally enjoying some good vibes.
Yeah, and just an oddity there. He mentioned they have 5 walk-off homers this year, and the Phillies hadn't had one since 2023. That's a very unusual thing there to talk about. But, I mean, they had 2 walk-off homers in this series. So
yeah,
they're playing well. They've been fun all year long. They could have faded away a gazillion times, but they just haven't. And you look at the run differential, it's not a fluke. I mean, they have outscored their opponents by 43 runs on the season. And so their record is right about where it should be. And in that division, they're pretty heavy favorites at this point to go to the playoffs. And not a lot of people at all saw that coming. No. So good for them.
Absolutely good for them. But there's another team that's been looking really, really good lately, let me tell you. Despite not looking good at the start of the season, that is my Padres. They get the series sweep against the Twins. They win today's game 8-1. Bailey Ober gets a start for the Twins, going 5 innings, allowing 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. But that's not where the runs came from. The Padres really showed up later on. And also Walker Buehler was the reason that they were only, the Twins weren't able to do much damage. 6 innings, 1 earned run only, 4 hits, no walks, and 4 Ks. Brooksley hits a solo home run. Otherwise, it was the Fernando Tatis show. 4 for 5 with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a stolen base. Luis Rengifo, he goes 1 for 3 with a 2-run double. Jackson Merrill, a solo shot. And even Xander Bogaerts, who I think many believe is probably the worst contract in all of baseball. He goes 1 for 3 with an RBI double and a walk. Ben, did you know that Fernando Tatis Jr., PCA, Mr. Pete Crow Armstrong, who we'll talk about a little bit later, he has 8 home runs this month. Cool stuff. Great. Tatis also now has 9 this month. They are both tied, I believe, for the most in August. Tatis is all the way freaking back to 2021 era, potentially. And just in general, this Padres offense, a complete flip from what they were in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing game night and hearing you talk about how it was like the most frustrating team and offense you've ever had to watch, and that it wasn't an exaggeration. And that just goes to show you how crazy baseball is, right? Yeah. I mean, Tatis couldn't hit a homer for months, and now he's got 9 in this month alone. Like, And then I saw him robbing was it a grand slam the other night in New York? I mean, my goodness. So, the Giants are so far out of it that I don't have to be upset about the Padres doing well. Like Tatis, good vibes. I mean, yeah, sweep of the Twins. The Padres are just playing great.
They are indeed another team that, despite maybe, again, if you read the message boards and know their fan base because they are New York, that has also been quietly playing well despite the absence of Aaron Judge. The Yankees, they win this game against the Blue Jays on Sunday and take 2 of 3 against them by a score of 8-3. Jose Soriano, Blue Jays' big trade deadline acquisition, doesn't do well in this one. 5 innings, 5 earned runs on 7 hits, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. And Carlos Rodon for the Yankees doesn't do too much, but doesn't get killed. 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. Alejandro Kirk, he goes 1 for 4 with an RBI. Miles Straw, 2 for 3, but it was about the Yankees in this one. Trent Grisham, former Pod, 1 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs with a walk. Jazz Chisholm, big game for him. 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Ben Rice, who has been one of the biggest fall-offs in the second half, if you look at WRC Plus and frankly OPS, any metric from the first half to the second. Nice game for him, though. 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. And just got to mention Mr. Rookie Phenom. And I say that only because he's been a big story because it's been fun with his family being all wholesome on the sideline. 2 for 4 in this one. The Yankees next host the Astros while the Blue Jays will host the Royals. Good stuff for the Yankees. We'll see if they can keep it up and whatnot heading into the postseason, if they can get their rotation and their offense, and especially Aaron Judge back. It's going to be interesting to see how that all goes. But guys, don't touch that dial. Don't change the channel, whatever you're watching on. We got to talk about the Braves and the Brewers in a Sunday night showdown that could be a potential playoff series preview right after this. But first, guys, let me take a second to talk to you about one of our sponsors. That is our friends over at Odoo. And here's the thing. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of different, things that aren't meant to work together, right? One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place. Odoo is one platform to manage, grow, and scale your business. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working toward the same goal. And that's true in sports, just like it is in business, folks. Great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's Odoo, odoo.com/lockedon. Go and check it out. Next up, guys, we are talking about those aforementioned Brewers and Braves. Atlanta gets the win in this one, 4-2 on Sunday Night Baseball. But the Brewers did take 2 of 3, and Chuck Freeman of Locked On Brewers has some thoughts on this series because, as always, for those who know with our guy Chuck, he's always got some thoughts and some good ones at that.
Look at the defense in this one, but I'm going to look at 2 runs on 11 hits. Hey, everybody, Chuck Freeman, Rapid Reaction, Locked On Brewers. Yeah, Brewers had some shortcomings defensively in this one tonight, and that's defense is obviously one of their strong suits, defense and pitching. Pitching, Drone, 2 runs, 5 innings. I'll take that from Drone right now. But the offense, although William Contreras, when that ball was off his bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, I immediately flashed back to Rosarina for Seattle on Saturday night when he hit the walk-off against the Cubs. I thought, man, is that because of center field? But it couldn't stretch far enough just to the warning track. Bowers, the double play ball, finishes off the game. But 2 of 3 from the Braves will take. Cubs 1, lead down to 6. It's going to be a great race. Brewers aren't going to run away with this one by any means. Day off on Monday. Tuesday in New York against the Mets. We'll talk to you a little bit later on tonight with the next edition of Locked On Brewers. We got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. There's always a lot to talk about with the Brewers. Go check out Chuck's podcast. But Tyler Mahle, really good again for the Braves. Got to just mention that. He's been a nice pickup for them. 5 innings, 6 hits, only 1 earned run, though, 2 walks, 4 Ks. 8 of 9 Braves starters had hits in this one as well. Look, nice playoff series preview. Ben, this could just be me ignoring stats, but doesn't it feel like the Braves are a little bit more vulnerable than their record and how they overall have played all season suggest.
Yeah, it absolutely feels that way. And it started off with the going into the year, the question with them was like, do they have the pitching? And I think that the deadline moves that they made, including Tyler Mahle, who's been sensational for them. I watched him all year with the Giants. Like, he's not a overpowering arm. It's not, they didn't go out and get Tarek Skubal at all. They got Tyler Mahle and who I can't remember if they picked up any other arms along the way, but yeah, I mean, I do feel I have a good friend who's a Braves fan, and he was very underwhelmed by their deadline, and it is a team that in October they do. I agree with you. I 100% agree that they seem vulnerable, especially in the National League, where they're just. I mean, you might have to face Jacob Mizorowski twice in a series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's going to be tough. And in this series, the Brewers won 2 out of 3. And could it be a preview of something to come? Yes, it could be.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves are routinely good every year, just like the Dodgers. Maybe they should just spend, $6 billion, maybe, and that might help them, whatnot, I guess. But speaking of teams that kind of have spent a lot, they've been going through it. And let me tell you, the Cubs and the Mariners, despite the fact that the Mariners took 2 out of 3 in this series, the Cubs certainly make you think that wasn't the case, winning this one 19-2. Sam Olber of Locked On Cubs, one of our favorites on game night, his whiplash of reactions. He's got the reaction to this absolute just mammoth offensive day for the team.
Cubbies needed that one. Fans probably needed it more. They take care of business in the finale against the Mariners, salvage a win. Because of Ian Happ and Aaron Savale, mainly. Ian Happ with a grand slam in the third. Cubs were down 2-1. It was a really weird game for Shota. Went 2+ innings, got pulled early, rightfully by Craig. Velo was down, location was off, couldn't get ahead of anybody. Hope he's okay, but the Happ grand slam was really the difference in the ball game. And then Aaron Savale coming in relief of Shota, giving the Cubs 3+ a really good scoreless baseball was just huge. Was just huge today. And Cubs were able to win a ball game and Conforto to a home run, and they opened it up and made it kind of a laugher. But they needed one after Friday and Saturday. It was a very difficult 2 nights, and hopefully they could take this win and see if they could come home on a 3-3 road trip in Arizona and take that series after the first 2 games. But Cubs get a win. Give credit to Ian Happ for that big grand slam from the left side, and Aaron Savale coming in and doing some really nice long relief work when the Cubs were up.
Yeah, and Aaron Savale is what I want to harp on here just a little bit, because this is a team that has needed starting pitching, needed innings. So him coming in, I think in a game like this, you just save the rest of your guys. That's really big for them. But again, offensive palooza here. PCA 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs on a home run. Ian Happ with the grand slam, like our guy mentioned. Pedro Ramirez 3 for 6 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Seiya Suzuki 2 for 3 with 3 walks. And that's the funny part, is that Bryce Miller started this game for the Mariners, 4 1/3, giving up 6 earned runs on only 2 hits. Yeah, it's because he walked 7 batters for some reason this game. So Seattle, man, finding new ways to absolutely break their fans' hearts every other day. really rough for a team that was one of the biggest stories in the league last year and almost made the World Series.
Yeah, for the Mariners, like, it's been a really tough stretch. For a long time, they were the only team in that division that had a really good run differential. But now, I mean, they lost 22-0 recently, just the other day, to the Brewers, and now they lose 19-2. So that run differential has fallen to -61, which is close to the Angels, really, in that division. Yeah. So I'm kind of confused about, are the Mariners bad? Are they, because on paper I feel like they should be the best team in that division. We're going to talk more about that division. They're 7 games under 500, but they're only 3 out in the division and 3 out of a wild card spot. So they're still very much in it, despite how rough of a stretch it's been and rough of a season it's been for them.
Absolutely. Another team that's gone through a rough stretch this season and also is still technically in it, the Rangers, and they take 2 out of 3 against the Angels this weekend. Win today's game by a score of 5-3. Yusei Kikuchi, he goes 5 innings, giving up 5 earned runs on 7 hits, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. And then Cal Quantrill gets the job done. 6 innings, no earned runs, but does allow 6 hits, but then no walks and gets 6 Ks. Very weird start for Quantrill, but we love it to see it. Zach Neto for the Angels goes 2 for 5 with a home run. Gustavo Campero 2 for 4 with an RBI. And then for the Rangers, Corey Seager goes 2 for 3. Ezekiel Duran, 1 for 3 with a home run. Elias Diaz, former Pod, 1 for 2 with a home run and 2 RBIs. And their young stud, who's been oft injured and whatnot, 2 for 3 with a walk. But they did take this series, and they're technically still in it. And they will next travel to Southside of Chicago for a series against the White Sox while the Angels host the Guardians. Then your Giants up next, but they get swept by the Red Sox, and the Red Sox win this one 5-4. Jake Bennett goes 7 innings, allowing 3 earned runs on 7 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and Matt Tugboat Wilkinson, 3 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs on 7 hits, no walks, 2 Ks. Nick Sogar double, homered, and walked in the win. The Red Sox plus 99 run differential is the second best in the American League and only one behind the Yankees plus 100 run differential. Amazing turnaround that team has had. The Giants host the Reds next, while the Red Sox head to Miami, a pretty decent team over there. And then next, guys, Athletics and the Astros. Just, again, got to cover this absolutely ridiculous division in the AL West. The A's take 2 out of 3, though, in this one. The Astros lose another series to an inferior team. And Brett Chansey of Locked On Astros can't be all that thrilled with this one because it felt like we finally were figuring out who's going in this division. Maybe not so much anymore.
Well, folks, that is 2026 in a nutshell. The Astros, they fall. For the first time since 2011, they give up a 6-run lead. They did it last time against the Diamondbacks in 2011. Oh, but Yordan Alvarez broke a club record. He now has the most intentional walks on the season with 28. The big fella really isn't able to hit this team out of a deficit. Why? Because there's no one behind him protecting him in this lineup. So maybe that's priority number 1 for the next GM. Joe Espada, unfortunately, was not at the game today due to tending to a family emergency. So Omar Lopez had to step in. But there's not a single manager that could have come in and saved this game. It doesn't matter how many World Series title a manager had under their belt. This team had no intentions of winning, as De Los Santos absolutely just gave up the 3 runs. Okert gave up a run, and it just was no going. Once they scored 6, they were like, that's enough. The offense stopped, and now they've lost their 3rd straight series to a division opponent. Stay tuned in to Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Go Stros.
Man,
Question mark?
tough times. Yeah, go Stros. Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's how Astros fans must feel. Astros and Rangers are tied atop the AL West, but both below 500. Mariners only 3 back. It's just funny. No one wants. It's the classic, like, nobody wants to win. Division happens in every sport every year. And I guess this year it's the AL West. A's host the Twins next, while the Astros head to the red-hot Yankees next. Next up, after the break, guys, Rays and Orioles link up in a pivotal AL East matchup. Genuinely, despite the Orioles' best efforts, they are still in contention, and we got a lot more to talk about here, guys, on MLB Game Night. A big thank you to our friends over at Amazon for this limited break. This back to school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back to school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, and then suddenly you got the supplies, the different clothes, the first day outfit, the different gear, the different technology, about 10 other things you didn't see coming, and it all adds up fast. With the growth spurt for your kids, with the calculator, you need the latest version or whatever that has all the different, buttons that you could press. Probably for me now, if I saw a calculator that they have today, it would probably freak me out with all the stuff that they have on it. The need versus the want that you have to balance, the different teacher list that's always changing, the cart total, and then the night before, and you're like, oh God, what did we forget? All that sort of stuff. Take the stress out, man. Remember, with Amazon's low back to school prices, you can do just that and just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. We're back here locked on MLB Game Night. Javier Reyes and my guy Ben Kaspic talking now about the Rays and the Orioles. The Orioles take 2 of 3 in this one. Nick Martinez gets a nice start, man. 6 innings, no runs, only 1 hit, no walks, 4 Ks. Another former Pod, 2.93 ERA in 25 starts. And the Rays win this one 3-1. Let me, man, Ben, is this the most underrated pitcher in baseball right now?
By ERA, yes. I mean, you look at some of the peripherals and you're like, how is he doing this? He doesn't strike out a ton of guys. Even in this game, only 4 Ks, but like commanding the zone, didn't allow any walks, only one hit allowed in that ballpark against that lineup that has some forces to be reckoned with, including Pete Alonso, who's been on a tear. I mean, that was a long-winded way of saying for sure he's in the conversation, if not number one. I mean, and it's, to me, it just speaks to the Rays, right? Like the Rays just identify guys who, I mean, you saw Nick Martinez. Like Nick Martinez has been like a reliever for forever, and now here he is, just in 25 starts with an ERA under 3 for a first place team in the AL East. It's just very Rays and just a great year for Martinez.
Absolutely. They salvage it with this one. I mean, there's such a good pitching farm that they brought in Luis Castillo at the deadline. Everyone's like, oh God, they're going to fix them. They're going to fix him, aren't they? They're going to bring him back to his prime and all that. So the Rays, one of MLB's best, and continually does their best when everybody counts them out. Should be really interesting to see how they go forward, especially in this very crowded American League. I say that sarcastically because this league stinks, quite frankly. But whatever, guys, shout out as well to Chandler Simpson, 1 for 3 with a walk in this game. I bring him up, or I'm sorry, 2 for 3 with an RBI and a walk in this game. I bring him up because that guy is so much fun. I just love watching that guy. He's such a speedster. Junior Caminero gets an RBI as well. Good stuff for them. Moving on, though, now to my arch nemesis at the moment, the Diamondbacks. They get another big win and take 2 of 3 against the Reds this weekend. Today's game, 5-3 score. Andrew Abbott for the Reds doesn't kill them, not great, but 6 innings, 4 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. And then Mitch Bratt for the D-backs. They're just making up names over there, aren't they? 3 innings, 3 earned runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. Sal Stewart, he goes 2 for 5 with an RBI. He's been the big shining thing for them this year, but unfortunately kind of wasting his season in some ways. Eugenio Suarez, 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a walk. And then for the D-backs, Delmaro Vargas, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Corbin Carroll, 2 for 3 with an RBI. And Gabriel Moreno draws 2 walks with an RBI as well. The D-backs are just hanging on, and they are fighting for that last wild card spot, along with the Padres and the Phillies and the Cubs too. They look like they're going to have it, but the Cubs too for those wild card spots. Next up, though, Guardians and the Rockies. The Guardians get a much needed series sweep in this one because they haven't been playing well lately, and they win this one 7-2. Justin Latta of Locked On Guardians is usually a little bit miserable on game night. Let's be honest. My guy's been going through it. He's been to some games. He's seen some tragedy lately. Jose Ramirez, not the same thing, but at least he's got something going for him this time, I think. Let's hear from him.
Start a 6-game West Coast road trip off by taking care of business with a sweep of the Colorado Rockies thanks to a win on Sunday. Justin Latta here of Locked On Guardians. A great 7-2 victory for the Guardians on Sunday. They made Tomoyuki Sugano throw 40 pitches in the first inning. Now, Foster Griffin had to come out and throw 40-plus something pitches in the second inning, but he got through 5, whereas the Guardians had a 3-0 lead after the first inning on the Rockies. 2 triples from Chase DeLauder, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Joe Adell knocked in a run. Nathaniel Lowe knocked in a run. The Guardians added some insurance runs later. So the trade deadline acquisitions are rolling right now for the Guardians. Their bats are working. Foster Griffin got the win, pitched pretty well. And the Guardians outscored the Rockies in this series 20-6. Now I know what you're thinking. This is what the Guardians should do. But how many times this season have we seen the Guardians play what we deem to be lesser competition and play down to their level? The Guardians, had 1 one-run game this series, but overall took care of business in this series, looked like the better team. Colorado can be a tough place to play. The Rockies have the 6th most runs scored at home this year, so weird things can happen. They have a decent lineup. The Guardians shut them down. Their offense came and got the hits they needed to, and now they go to LA with a chance to even do more damage and reclaim some ground in the playoff race. We'll talk about it on Monday's Locked On Guardians.
Yeah, hey, big game for the Guardians, big series for them. And look, Chase DeLauder, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He's had such a great season for them. We'll see if they can keep it going. They head to LA next while the Rockies head to DC. Every game matters, folks. I know it's a cliche, but it's really true in these wild card races. Next up, Nationals at the Marlins. Miami wins this one 6-2 and get the series sweep. That's right. And the Marlins, it was their 8th win in a row against the Nationals. It's the only second time this season a team has done that. The D-backs over the Giants from May 18th to June 30th being the other. Man, we're just killing your Giants on today's show. My God.
It's very easy to do. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Day.
Padres, yeah, every day, seriously. I mean, it's been a nightmare season for the Giants, but when it comes to this wild card race, not gonna lie, Ben, I messed up. I mentioned the Cubs and then the Padres and the D-backs. The Marlins are a little bit in there. They've had a nice season, and don't get me wrong, they did that whole thing where they won 15 in a row, then lost 15 in a row. I get it because nothing matters in life apparently to them, but still a very solid team with some really nice stars. Otto Lopez being one of them. Solid pitching staff. They're a team to keep an eye on. They could absolutely go on a run for sure. So do not sleep on the Miami Marlins, even though we often do. But don't do it this time. Trust me. Then, lastly, guys, we got the Tigers and the Royals. And man, oh man, it's tough to be a Detroit fan. The Royals win this one 11-7 and get a series sweep. Jacob Waxback goes 1 and just a third inning, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and a K. Daniel Lynch the fourth. I love it when people have a third or a second or a fourth in their name. He goes 4 and a third, gives up 2 earned runs on 4 hits, a walk, and 2 Ks. Kevin McGonigal, man, what a beast this guy has been. 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, a home run and a walk. How you lead 2 for 5 with an RBI. Gleyber Torres, all those runs. But guess what? It doesn't matter because the Royals end up going absolutely nuts on offense, which isn't exactly common for this team. This has not been a good team this year. And Ben, we talked about before we started recording, but the third best run differential in the American League is the Tigers, and yet they're 61 and 69 now. It's just really rough. And Bobby Witt Jr., he gets a walk and a stolen base, but it's Nick Lofton in this one who goes 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a home run. It's tough. It's tough if you're Detroit. I know that they sold their guys, but you might think, let's make the playoffs anyway. The fact that the run differential gods have betrayed them, and they lost Tarek Skubal, and they lost Casey Mize, it's not a great time to be a Detroit fan.
They're 12 wins worse than their expected record based on their run differential. And in the American League right now, like, they would be running away with the division with 12 more wins. Mm-hmm. Like that expected record is 73 and 57. Like in the American League, that would stand out as just a great, like, besides the AL East, you would just look like the next best team there. And that's without right now having Tarek Skubal. And so just a very bizarre year for a lot of teams in the American League, and the Tigers are right there at the center of it. And 8 wins in a row for the Royals as well. Randomly.
It's really such a shame. I mean, they've got so many good players in their lineup. I know that they lost their pitchers because they had to trade the deadline, but Dylan Dingler has been great this year. Kevin McGonigal was one of those prospects that came up and was immediately great with the defense and all that stuff too. It's really rough for Detroit. And, the other thing that I think makes it even worse is that, like you mentioned, American League. Forget their 75 wins. If they're just 2 wins above 500, we're talking about, wow, Ewing theory. They got rid of Tarek Skubal. We all knew he was a diva when he didn't want to pitch the World Baseball Classic. The Tigers fans in Detroit, they'd be puffing their chests out. Instead, they're watching what must be just what they play for people, for torture out of information. They let your team actually outscore everybody, but then you can't make the playoffs. It's really, really rough going for Detroit at this point. Can they get it back on track? Anyone can, because we've still got a month left. And that means, guys, still got a month left and change of MLB game night. But that does do it for today's edition of the show, guys. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with all your friends and everyone on every platform. We hope you'll come back and visit us next time on MLB game night. Every game, every night.